a lot of people, they lack confidence when it comes to their lives. And no matter what you give them, what kind of information, what kind of help, what kind of inspiration you give them, they still lack the confidence to create the best version of themselves. They lack the confidence to learn languages. This channel is about learning foreign languages. They lack the confidence to go out of their comfort zone, hop on a plane, go abroad, live the life of adventures. So basically, I'm going to have this very short live stream today because I decided to kind of share my thoughts on it. Because I was thinking about it, like, if you always keep talking about, if you, like, there are a lot of people, they know the information. They know the information that it's really important for them to do certain things. But they really lack the confidence to act on it. Actually, no, I have quite a few friends who always wanted to live abroad. They wanted to leave their own country and live the life of adventure. But the problem is that they're all like, yeah, of course I need to leave my country. I want to just go abroad. I want to live the life of adventure. It turned out that they never left it. They never left the country. They never went abroad and find the best life for themselves. This is crazy to think about it because I started this, like, my crazy journey like back in 2016 when I pretty much left my home in Russia and I went to China. Then I came to Korea, and it's been about 9 years since then. And as of now, I mean, I lived the life that I wanted. I couldn't even imagine just a few years ago, like 4 years ago, I was like struggling a lot. But the thing was that for me, it was the worst thing was just staying. It wasn't even the comfort zone for me. I cannot say I like staying in the comfort zone. For me, it was such a discomfort to just be in my back, like when I finished my studies in China, then I went back to Russia for a while. It was such a stress for me to just be in my own country, is like in this boring environment and just like being surrounded by the same stuff and like the same boring gray thing that I've seen for so many years. And I was like, dude, I have to escape from that. And I don't want to go back to China because Korea, like I liked it much more than China. And so I was like, I need to figure this out, you know? And I went out of my comfort zone. I came to Korea and I just like started from complete zero. But the thing is that I'm in the minority of people like this because mostly people have this kind of ambition. They study abroad and they want to either stay abroad or will go to another country. But a lot of them lack this confidence. So this live stream is about how to be confident. This is basically very different from what I used to talk about. Because so many of you guys, you don't have confidence at all. You don't have confidence to speak up. You don't have confidence to talk to people. You don't have confidence to approach a stranger on the street. You don't have. Do you think I have confidence to approach a stranger? I've approached so many strangers. And if you lack confidence to practice the language, if you lack confidence to go abroad, hop on a plane, to just do the best for yourself, lack confidence to find a better job, lack confidence to build your own business. Like if you have just a lack of confidence, no matter what information me or somebody else gives you, you will still be like in the same place. I look at people who I just like my friends, and I look at them now, and I see no difference between now and 4 years ago. Ask yourself, are you any different from now versus 4 or 5 years ago? I came to Korea 2020. Actually, I came like in 2019, but I took a break. I had to go back to Russia to get a visa, so I stayed in Russia for like half a year. But I came here and I'm looking 5 years, man. I look at all my friends, like not all my friends, but most of people who I know, they never really changed. And when I say about change, I'm talking about like a deep transformations. Like, again, since this channel is about learning foreign languages, learning a foreign language. Well, one of my hobbies now is weighted calisthenics. Half a year ago, I couldn't dream about doing 30-kilogram pull-ups and dips, 30 kilogram with 30-kilogram weight. I myself have 88. Plus the belt or everything, is like 90 kilograms plus 30 kilograms. I couldn't dream about that. And now I see myself growing over the 6-month period when it comes to my physique. I see myself gaining muscles and losing fat. And I'm doing it slowly. I'm doing it slowly by changing my habits, by consuming by consuming less carbs and more protein, more natural protein, like different variations of it. I studied how to diet. I studied how to do this weighted calisthenics, how to do calisthenics, how to do all those things. And I see myself changing. And I look at people who are my role models, and their change is like insane. You look at those people 5 years ago, this was a different person. And I learn from them because what I really learn from, who I really like to learn from, I don't like to learn from work junkies who just like work for 14 hours a day and just say, hey, your success is only the money and only working 14 hours a day. This is your success. I don't subscribe for that. I learn from them also when it comes to work, but these are not my role models, if that makes sense. I don't want to be them, if that makes sense. Who I really learn from are the people who have this so-called good life. Health, wealth, love, happiness, who have very, very good physique, who are very smart, very attractive to the opposite sex, who are just the total OGs. So these are the people who I like to learn from myself. And if I look at the person who is just all about money, but they're fat, or they're just like the only thing that they're doing is just work, and they're not that fun, well, I don't want to be them, you know? It's like there are a lot of people, like no matter how rich you are, there is a guy who is richer than you. The only way you can beat the system is basically be cooler than that guy who is richer than you. What does it mean to be cooler? If you're in a room with women, who will women be attracted to the most? Do you think it's all about the money? No, it's not only about the money. And it's also not only about the women. It's all about developing yourself in different aspects of your life. But I really see people, I'm not trying to teach you here. I'm just trying to share my perspective. I'm not trying to teach you here. I'm far from where I want to be. But what I want to tell you is that don't be one of those people. If I look at you in 5 years from now, you stay on the same page. Like, what the hell is that, dude? Like, you're working the same job, same wage, same ability, same physique, same charisma, same language skills, same professional skills. What are you talking about? Look at, even if I look at just my shorts, how I edited my YouTube shorts 2 years ago versus now, I'm like, dude, I don't even know. Like, I had no skill. I look at even my editing. People can argue with that. People get like, you're editing and shit. Okay, but I look at myself. I know the things that I can do, and I know the things that I could do before that. When 3 years ago, when my video went viral, it was kind of work plus accident, like plus luck. It was a little bit of luck, you know, it was uncontrolled luck. And the reason why I call it luck is because if every single video I put out, if it gets million views, I mean, I'm talking about long videos, then I can say it's not luck, it's a repetitive success. But when just one video goes viral and other videos don't go viral, I'm being honest with myself. I mean, as part of my career as a YouTuber, I'm not only a YouTuber, but being a YouTuber also, I'm like, well, it's not a skill, it's part of it is luck. Of course, there is some skill there, but if every single video goes like this, then it's a skill. So now I can say, like, on my Instagram and on my TikTok, more and more videos get millions of views, and some of them get tens of millions of views. And the more repetitiveness I see there, the more I can say that this is a skill. This is an editing skill, shooting skill. And I can see myself growing in those areas. When it comes to my physique, I can see that, well, this is how I develop myself. This is where I am versus 1 year ago. I always try to compete with myself, not with other dudes. Unfortunately, I don't have anybody in my surroundings who I can compete with when it comes to some things. But so basically, I just look at myself. I'm like, am I better than 1 year ago? Am I better than like 2 years ago or 3 years ago, right? So you just look at yourself and ask yourself, like, do you look better when you look in the mirror? Do you look better? Do you look better? Are you more attractive? Like, are you more charismatic? Are you more skillful? Every single time when I go to Japan, I ask myself, is my Japanese just a little bit better? Please, a little bit better. This is what I want to say. I want to be like this time before going to Japan. I wrote down a few phrases that I wanted myself to memorize. For example, one of the phrases like asking about directions. The simplest ways is like, oh, doko desu ka? Like, where is something, right? But you can say like something, doko ni aru ka gozonji desu ka? Gozonji, it's a polite way to say, do you know where is it, right? When you finish ordering at a Japanese restaurant, you say, "Ijo de onegai shimasu." That's all. Or like when you want to ask them, you say "dekiriba" or like "yoroshicattara" or "dekiriba," and then you say something. Tsuika de, like additionally, something like this. And I wrote like 10 phrases. So when I go to Japan, I order at izakaya or some kind of restaurant. I know what, like I just use plus 3 phrases to prove myself that I'm better than myself from 3 months ago when I went to Japan. Because when I went to Japan, my best phrase, like at the restaurant, was like, "Oh, osusume ga arimasu ka?" Like, do you have anything to recommend, right? And now I'm like a little bit more confident. Now I can say like a few more phrases. So this live stream is about how to get confident, right? Why am I talking about all those things? I'm not talking about how cool I am or like, oh, I'm getting better, look at me. I'm saying just this process of me thinking of every single aspect of my life. Okay, so I'm learning Japanese. Am I getting better in it? When I go to Japan, this is like really clear to me. This time I was really good at understanding the tickets, like when we were buying tickets, and I was a little bit worse at the hotel, so I was like beating myself up a lot. I always try to judge myself, critique myself in all those areas. When I shoot my videos, there are like a few phrases I'll throw in, like that I learned because I'm still learning, I'm always learning. And I'm like, oh, this is just, please give me just one new phrase that I do, that I say some fun phrase. For example, this time, like when I was shooting a video, I said a tongue twister. 800边奔北坡，跑平平百北边跑. And then the people were like, ha ha, like laughing, you know? This is not just me like saying some simple phrase. This is saying some new phrase that I learned. And I just pat myself on the back. I say, dude, this is awesome. You did something, like you did a little bit of progress, right? The same with muscle ups. I'm like, do I gain the cleanliness of my muscle up? Do I, you know, people who know what is a muscle up, people who know what to look at, they pretty much look at your legs. If your legs is just like help you to go up the bar, it means that it's not clean. Now I do semi-clean ones where I have a little bit of a swing, which I try to decrease. I try to do like more explosive ones, like when you go up and then you go down right after it. And I always compare myself. I publish those videos on Instagram sometimes, and like I look at my muscle-ups I look at my muscle. You can open my Instagram. It's just like Victor talking. It's like my personal Instagram. Open my muscle. I published muscle-ups from like half a year ago, and I also published muscle-ups just recently. People who know what is a muscle-up, they can see clear progress there. Clear progress, unquestionable. And if I know myself, look, I'm moving in the right direction in all the areas. Sometimes I miss, sometimes I take a break. You know, I'm not perfect. Like I said, I'm not saying like you should learn, oh, look, you should learn from me. But at least this mindset that I have, I think can help a lot of people who don't know what to do. Because if you don't compare yourself with yourself, not with me, not with other dude, with yourself from 5 years ago, dude, you're on the wrong track, because if you don't get better, you get worse. This is what I'm trying to say. You know, I compare myself with my physique, with my physical abilities with me from 5 years ago. My friends message me and say, "Hey, Victor, you became bigger. What are you doing?" I'm like, yeah, I'm just like doing this thing. So that's the first thing, right? Second thing, in your physique, in your language skills, in your brain abilities, how much can you, like how much did you read? How much did you learn? How more professional did you become? Did your wage went up? Did your money went up? Or like what changed about your life? Like that's the thing that I want you to ask yourself. Honestly, make an audit of your life. Make an audit of your life. Ask yourself, what did you do right and wrong? Is there any progress in your life? Is there any progress in your life? You know, I just posted on my Instagram as like, oh, like I like to brag about it. You know, I'm like, hey, I'm doing this 30 kilo, just like a photo of me, like, hey, I just did the 30 kilogram pull-ups and dips. And the guy was like, no, you cannot do it. Like somebody just sent me. I'm like, dude, you're a joke, man. Because if you if you actually could do it yourself, first of all, you wouldn't have messaged me this bullshit. Second of all, you'd be so focused on your own progress, you would even forget to do that, like to respond to somebody's like post or story, you know? So basically, one thing I want to tell you is that you need to keep yourself accountable. Ask yourself this question. Give yourself a hard time. Every single time when you look back, no matter what language you're learning, I assume you're a language learner. No matter what sports you're in, try to ask yourself, are you better than 1 year ago? Yes or no? If no, what's the meaning of this whole thing? Like, you need to get better every time. If you don't get better, it's like, this is completely downhill. Do you want me to talk about the negative aspects of life? Do you know what's happening now? So a lot of people watching my content, you guys are in the same age bracket as me, I assume. A lot of people, like some people are younger. I'm talking about men. I see 80%, 90% of you guys watching me are men. Just guys, right? Okay, let's be honest. Do you know what's the biggest suicide bracket in the US right now? It's the same age. It's like late 20s, early 30s, something 30s, 40s. The biggest number of suicides in the US. I'm talking about the US, there are other countries. The biggest reason is loneliness. There is a loneliness epidemic happening right now among males because people are just gay, like they're just like playing games all the time. They're gambling. They're ruining their lives. You know, me and David were like my partner we're developing Victory AI app with. We're just talking about it. I'm like, dude, we are on the biggest mission, helping guys all around the world. Why? It's because I am selling the dream of becoming better as a person, speaking a foreign language, learning how to live a better life by developing yourself. And while other dudes will be like having a podcast and advertising some gambling application, some gambling website, something that does not help you, that creates addiction, gets your life downhill. I'm like, what is the result? I'm looking at some of the comments. People are like, you inspired me. I went through your course. I learned German till B1 level. Some guy became close to fluent in Spanish. Some people are like, I started learning Chinese because of you. I understand this is a minority. I'm not trying to say that, like everybody who watches me, just their life automatically changed. I'm just saying, if out of 100 people that I inspire, those 100 people started learning Chinese, if 5 of them get to some kind of level and change their lives, instead of having gaming addiction, some other addictions, alcohol, like it's so many addictions now. Instead of doing this, they learn a foreign language. They become confident in their life by improving themselves in other areas. I'm like, dude, this is the best thing I can do. Because I just, there was this really interesting story recently. I decided to translate my content to Korean. So I opened this Instagram account in Korean, and there were like 11 followers. And then I talked to some of my Korean friends, and they were like, listen, actually your content is motivational. And I wasn't looking at my content as motivational content. I don't know why. Because for me, motivation is like Tony Robbins. Hey, you can do it, yeah. For me, it's just, it's a little bit of educational, a little bit of entertainment. This is how I looked at it. Let's say entertainment, a little bit more to the edutainment, a little bit more to the entertainment side. But there are like people, saying that, oh, you have a motivational content, and motivational content in Korea is the least popular, because 99% of Korean society are just people who don't dream that big, let's say, right? If you know what I'm talking about. They're like, look at how many successful entrepreneurs are in Korea versus like US, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. People here are just all about like getting a job in Korea is equals success. Like getting a job is success. You're like successful in life. So it's like in most of the world it's like a default, and here is like success. So people who know Korean culture and how they think. So basically my content is like the motivational content, it cannot get big in Korea, if you know what I'm talking about, right? So versus like other countries. So, and I was like, yeah, I will stop just translating my videos. I see a lot of like views, but not a lot of subscribers. I don't see this audience here. I didn't see somebody else doing like similar content here in Korea. So I decided not to do it. And the reason why I'm mentioning it is because since I consider myself now, I hear people saying like I got motivated. This is why I decided to do this live stream. Is because I can see more and more like a very serious people. Sometimes I see, like I used to do client coaching back in the day, helping people to learn languages. Now I also have programs, but I don't teach myself. I used to see people getting inspired and doing a lot of things, and I'm like, this is so great. You know, there are people who got married after my coaching. There are people who went to China and found the love of their life after my coaching. There are people who learned the language. And I'm like, this is not just learning the language. This is just becoming better as a person. So this live stream, it should be a big freaking wake-up call for a lot of people. Because if you want to see like a sweetened pill saying, hey, you can do it, a lot of people can't. Because I look at people, they didn't change during the past like 4 or 5 years. They haven't changed at all. This is, I have a Russian acquaintance. And he's like, I need to, like, I have plans to leave Russia, go live in Korea. And this was in 2019, he said it to me. Now it's almost 2026, 6 years after. He never left Russia. Dude, isn't it scary? It's like really scary. I have another friend, he's like, I will leave Russia, I will live somewhere abroad, I'm preparing for it, I'm learning English. Dude, he didn't change. He didn't learn English. It's been 5 years. He's still at the same spot, same business, like same small business, same stuff he's doing. He is relatively successful too, but dude, it's like, I'm like, why? Like, what's the reason? I can't relate to it. I can't understand it. I can understand slow progress. I can understand struggling. I can understand when the person says, look, I'm not as fast at something. I'm also very slow in certain aspects. I'm not like a fast learner everywhere. But if you're telling me that you're the same as 5 years ago, same everything, like, dude, I can't relate. I don't know what you're doing with your time. What are you doing? Like, what are you all doing with your time if you cannot improve? I can't understand. Like, I was really beating myself up with Japanese because there were like 3 years. I said I started learning the language, and there were like 3 years I literally did zero progress, like a minus. And I was like, this was one of the most humbling experiences of my life because I tried like video courses and like watch, but the truth is that I didn't push myself. And then I was like, listen, I need to do something. So I registered in the course, in the offline course, every Saturday. I was working at a company. I was like working my ass off. I was coaching, working at a company, running a business. It was insane. Shooting videos. It was 2020, 2021, 2022. And I went and I started taking Japanese class every Saturday. And this was right around the time when my YouTube completely exploded. From 2,000 subscribers to like 20, 30, 40,000, like, and so on and so forth. And I remember that my listening in Japanese went through the roof. So next time when I started taking online classes again, I started using only Japanese, like no English when learning Japanese. This is what I call the point of no return. And I proved it to myself that if I do something very seriously, if I'm like, look, I cannot look at this anymore. Like I'm stuck on this Genki 1 for so long. I finished it. I cannot finish Genki 2. It's like I cannot stand this. So you have to have this leverage. I think Tony Robbins calls it like, dude, should I freaking become a motivational speaker at this point? I can talk about it for hours. This is the very first live stream I talk about it. Don't get me wrong. Like you will not find any live stream sharing about this kind of life. Because I came here, like I decided to talk about it because it's been 5 years. Like I've been here for 5 years. I came to Korea. I started from such a tiny room with weird ajoshis next to like next door asking me about what, like I used to, we had a shared kitchen, you know. There was like this big guest house, like some kind of guest house. And I used to live in this like horrible place. You go to kitchen, she's asking you about like, do you have porn or not? Like do you have porn to watch? Or like start conversation with you. And it's like, dude, this is like the worst place. And I was there and I was working in the worst company ever. Like worst fucking thing. And I'm like, I never talked about it because I never shared my story. I never shared how hard it was for me for the last 5 years. When I started from 1,000 subscribers, I came here. Now I have over all the social media platforms. If you're watching YouTube, I have close to 3 million subscribers. I have 800,000 subscribers on Instagram. I started from complete zero 2 years ago on Instagram, 1.5 years ago. Complete zero I have there. I have, on YouTube, you can see how much I have. I have Russian YouTube channel with 50,000 subscribers. I have 100,000 subscribers on Facebook. And I have 1.1 million subscribers on TikTok. And 5 years ago, I had 1,000 subscribers. Just in total, in all platforms, just only YouTube. 1,300 subscribers, precisely. 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I'm not trying to brag. But before, here's the thing, you'll be like, oh, it's a fast progress. I don't want to demotivate you by those numbers, right? Because people will be like, oh, I'm not like, look, before that, I was doing YouTube since 2014, 15, let's say 2015. 2015 to 2020. 5 years I've been doing YouTube for 5 years. And then first couple years it was like a Russian channel, but fully I was doing YouTube for like very focused for 3 years before I exploded, before I came to Korea. When I was in China, look, I did YouTube for 3 years. 3 years. How many subscribers do you think I got after 3 years? Who knows how many subscribers I got? 1,000 freaking subscribers. After 3 years. Isn't it a failure? Wouldn't you call me a failure in 2019? I called myself a failure. I was like, dude, it's a failure. It's like 1,000 subscribers. I gave up on it. I stopped publishing videos. Back in the day, if you scroll way down, you'll see that my first videos were just interviews with Chinese girls. And I was like, this is ridiculous. Like 3 years for 1,000. And then you see those stories like this guy got viral, that guy got viral. Then I became that guy. So no matter what kind of situation you're in, I'm trying to tell you, like, don't get demotivated by other people's fast, quote unquote, success stories, because you don't see what is behind it. You don't see how many failed years, failed attempts, humiliating things happen to them. I don't really call it humiliating. It's just like how you perceive it. You perceive it humiliating. Oh my God, like I'm so humiliated. Like I cannot speak this language. Or my first job interview in Korea, I couldn't understand the thing. Like I couldn't understand this shit. The dude's like, you know, when you go to like went on the job fair, couldn't understand shit. They were like, oh, thank you, and like give you like the brochure, like the about their company. What I'm trying to say is that this mindset of like, can I just get better at all aspects of life? But you'd be like, Victor, but I push myself, I don't get better. You know what I want to tell you? You don't get better, you will, because it's like an exponential curve. You know what's interesting about exponential curve? Because it's a flat line at the beginning. It's invisible. You have 0.0001% of progress. You don't even know you have a progress, but you have it. If you actually push yourself, like if you're being really honest, if you study with hard ways, you listen to the right people, you will have progress. But what's interesting about exponential curve after that, your progress will be so fast, people will be like, this guy just got lucky. This guy must be genius. This is what people will be telling about me. I'm like, oh, this guy's just genius. Yeah, he's like, yeah, oh, this YouTuber just got viral. And I also have my down moments too. You know, like I had crazy views in 2023. My channel went through the roof. I had 1 to 2 million views a day. Then in last year, in 2024, I was like, I don't want to shoot that many videos anymore, so I stopped publishing. I had like 6 months of no publishing. And then I came back again like this year. From January, I've been really stable. People are like, but you don't publish every week, man. I'm like, dude, this takes a lot of time. One video that I produce here takes 30 to 40 hours of work. Subtitles themselves, who do you think does subtitles for me? 5 hours of me doing subtitles. 5 hours, but doesn't AI help you? No! Even with AI, dude, like I use AI. David helps me with subtitles, but it's like he goes through like he uses AI for that, but it does not. It just solves like it helps like 20-30%. Guess why? It's because AI is dumb. For subtitles, it does not hear accents, it does not hear slang, it does not hear something like not very clear, it does not recognize when the dialogue is extremely quick. You probably don't even, you can't even read subtitles like really quickly because it's like so freaking fast. How do you think AI will handle this? So what I'm trying to tell you here is that I went through my down moments, and I will. I will go through hardships, and everybody will. But you know what? You need to ask yourself, 4 years ago, 1 year ago, 6 months ago, like, do you have progress in comparison to that time? Ask yourself honestly, do you have progress in your physique? And I'm talking about as a guy to a guy, like as a male to a male, I'm asking you, do you have a progress in your physique? Do you have a progress in your languages? Do you have a progress in your financials? Do you become better as a professional, as a person? Do you hold your anger? I used to struggle because as a Russian, I used to say a lot of swearing. I used to swear a lot, right? And I'm like, I don't hold myself, but I try to keep myself accountable not to swear. Because if you have kids, will you swear in front of them all the time? What will happen to your kids? They listen to you swearing, then they'll be like, oh, my dad is swearing like this. I can swear in 4 languages. But I don't want to do it because I have to, sometimes I cannot hold myself. But I want to say that it's like in Korean, swearing is actually it's pretty harsh. It sounds pretty harsh, right? So do you get better at controlling your anger, at not shit talking? It's just like, this is the question that I want to ask. You know, this last year should be called like the best motivational speech. It should be called, how should it call? Like self-audit manifesto. Self-audit manifesto. Are you better or are you worse? That's the only question. You cannot stay the same. You can't stay the same. Especially if you, look, like once you achieve a certain age, you'll be like, I'm getting fat. I'm getting fat automatically. There is no the same. I'm either better or no. I'm choosing. I started getting fat. I'm like, I will reverse it. I'll gain muscles and get rid of my fat. This has happened 1 year ago. I was getting fat. I'm looking at my pictures. My waist was like it's like a safety ring. I'm like, dude, this is not something that I want. And I started getting fat. And then I lost weight, and then I gained a little bit of muscles, and then I gained even more muscles and lost even more fat. So, you know, like who knows what happens, but I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be fat in my 60s, 50s. I want to develop the best routine. So what I'm trying to say is that I'm trying to do my best here, and I want you to do the same. Listen to the right people. This is what I'm trying to say. Like, listen to the right people. Don't listen to people talking only about work. Don't listen to people talking about only one subject. Try to understand, like, the people who inspire me the most, and I think these are the most inspiring people. These are the people who are just like cool, you know, like who just like cool, like you just want to be them. You see the guy, he's like with girls, he's charismatic, he's joking, like he's traveling, you know. He's not just like this work junkie, like the billionaire who just like sits there all the time, just only working, and the only thing they can flex with is only their money, you know. This is not cool. Like it's like too much in the world going on around. There's too much stimulus. Like you can't say that money right now, like you can just like win everything. You can just be cooler than anybody just with money. You know, there are a lot of people. For example, they admire, for example, Elon Musk. They admire Elon Musk, but do they want to be him? I don't think so. Like there are a lot of people admiring some other person, but and they want to be that other person. Why? Name anybody who you want to be, like who you would trade lives with. Like name anybody who's your role model. I want to be them, right? I want to be them. Why? Ask yourself why. Well, because they have apps, because they look cool, because they have a cool car, because they have cool this, cool that, cool life, because they have a social media presence. Do you want to be them or not? That's the question, right? If you want to be them, why can't you become your best version of yourself while looking at them? Just get inspired, don't get demotivated. Because people will be like, some people just get demotivated. They look at the too much of a success. They don't see the whole story behind it, so they assume that they themselves cannot do it because they don't see the story of it. Like with my thing, like it's like I never thought of myself. I almost had it to the point of having a complex when I was doing YouTube, and I was like, I will never be the guy who will get viral on social media. I had this as a complex. It was a complex. It was like a confidence issue. It felt like, and because whenever I was doing editing, there would be like this voice like, you will never get as many views as those people who already have like 1 million. Oh, you're too late. It's like all those things. But then I just realized I started watching people who inspired me, and I'm like, I started getting interest in just like deconstructing the process, decoding the process, becoming better at understanding it, like playing with it. And then I was like, the whole game, the whole process became even more interesting than getting the result itself, So basically, this is what I'm trying to say. I'm kind of tired of talking here. I've been talking for like 36 minutes. I think this is enough of information. I think this is enough of a manifesto. I'll just go through a couple of comments. I think this is enough. I think I'm talking too loud, so my mic just might clip a little bit. All right, guys. So I'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much for joining.